Hi listeners, welcome to Insuright series of talks on insurance. Now I'll be talking about two very important clauses in motor insurance policy. Why I am saying important is this. These are the clauses which are framed under Motor Vehicle Act, and Motor Vehicle Act expects these clauses to be incorporated in a motor insurance policy. These two clauses are called driver's clause and limitation as to use clause. Both as an insurer and as insured, as an owner of the vehicle who has insured your vehicle, you should be very aware of the significance of these two clauses. In my experience in dealing with motor insurance claims, we are compelled to reject certain claims. It is not that as a motor insurance claims person we are never happy to reject a claim, but we are compelled to reject certain claims. And most of the rejections are falling under the violation of these driver's clause and limitation as to use clause. That is the reason why I am emphasizing that as owner of the vehicle, you should be very much aware of these provisions of these two clauses. Now in this video, I will be talking exclusively about driver's clause. In the subsequent video, I will be focusing on limitation as to use clause. We are giving importance to these two clauses because we are trying to explain it slightly in depth. Okay. Now, what does the driver's clause say? In its essence, it says that a person who is driving a vehicle should hold an effective driving license for driving that vehicle. Now, when you say driving that vehicle, what does it mean? It is driving that class of vehicle. The driving license, when you look at the driving license of a two-wheeler, issued to a person who is qualified to drive a two-wheeler, his driving license will be either having this MCWG or it could have a MCWOG. Now MCWG means motorcycle with gear, MCWOG means motorcycle without gear. So a person holding a motorcycle without gear license, he cannot drive a motorcycle with gear. Okay? If he drives so, then it is a violation of the Motor Vehicle Act, the driver's clause, violation of the driver's clause. Now imagine while driving a motorcycle with gear, with a driving license of motorcycle without gear, an accident happens, insurance company can reject the claim citing that the driver's clause has been violated. Similarly, let us look at a scenario of a car and the taxi. Outwardly everything is same. It is a 5-seater car, 5-seater taxi, everything technically is same. But then what's the difference? This is a motor car used for private purpose, whereas that is a taxi. Now how does the driving license will look like? To drive a car, it is enough if you have a endorsement called LMV-NT. LMV-NT means light motor vehicle NT. Typically whatever cars which we use for our own private purpose, what you call as whiteboard. Car with whiteboard and the black letters. Suppose you cannot use that license to drive a taxi. For driving a taxi, you need the endorsement or it will be mentioned as LMVT. LMVT means light motor vehicle, transport vehicle. So this car is treated as a transport vehicle. So to drive a car, the driving license should have a endorsement LMVT. That means the driver, whoever is driving this vehicle, should hold a driving license which permits them to drive that taxi. Then that driving license should hold the endorsement LMVT. So somebody with a license LMV-NT, if he drives a taxi for which an LMV-T endorsement is required, but the driving license doesn't have that endorsement, then the police can, when the police comes for checking, and he'll be penalizing it, there'll be fine. God forbid if there is an accident and the driving license doesn't have that endorsement LMV-T, then insurance company can reject the claim. So this is one very important part. We know that it is important to have a driving license, but it is also very important to know that we should have the driving license to drive that class of vehicle. I would like to emphasize one thing here. Never be casual about driving license. We have come across in news where the minor children have taken a very costly vehicle and rammed the vehicle into public, and the consequences could be very serious, both in the criminal aspect, in the civil side, and also in the financial compensation perspective. So we request you to be very careful when handing over the vehicle to somebody for driving. Ensure that this particular clause is not violated. Thank you.